Well, for more on that, I'm joined on the phone now by our correspondent William Dunbar, who's in Yerevan. William, hello. Just tell us what the situation is in the Armenian capital right now.
Well, the army is out in force throughout the centre of the city. There really is a ring of steel around the main squares and plazas in the centre of Yerevan where the violence took place. But I have to say, evidence of the destruction and carnage last night is all too apparent. Still, there are burnt-out wrecks of cars littering some of the central streets of the city. There's razor wire pulled across the road, and of course there's tanks on the streets, armoured personnel carriers, men carrying machine guns, and just thousands and thousands of men in uniform at every major intersection. The city really is locked down, and for a city that's normally a thriving and bustling place full of sort of al fresco cafe life, it really couldn't be a bigger change. People seem genuinely uneasy and scared, including, I must add, the soldiers themselves, who are very aggressive and very short-tempered with people who attempt to go down streets they're not meant to go down, and the entire atmosphere is a little bit ugly. Though there's no opposition protest today, the atmosphere is as tense as possible without erupting into violence, and people do seem genuinely scared.
Now, what do the authorities say about the number of casualties in Saturday's protests?
Well, the Armenian police have confirmed that at least 8 people have died. However, they don't know the exact number of injured, and that number could rise as more news comes out. There's more or less a total news blackout in Armenia right now, with very few people actually knowing what's going on, and the government choosing to release what news it has. But certainly among the injured, we know there are about approximately 30 police officers that were injured last night when demonstrators threw petrol bombs and allegedly fired into the crowd. And so there are certainly police among the injured. But let's listen to what the director of one of Yerevan's major hospitals, Samvel Hanutunian, had to say about the casualties earlier today.
27 people were delivered to our hospital after 9:30 p.m. on Saturday. Most of them had shell fragment and gunshot wounds. Right now, 15 people are being treated here. Most of them are representatives of law enforcement. 8 of them require operations. None are in a life-threatening condition.
So that's all we know about the exact casualty figures so far, but certainly more casualties could emerge as more information comes out. Judging by the scale of the destruction, it's very possible that many more people were injured, and people we've been speaking to on the street have widely discounted the information provided by the state news agencies, claiming that hundreds more were injured. But of course, we don't know anything concrete right now, and we won't know anything until the government chooses to release more information.
William, those are some extraordinary pictures that we've been seeing while you've been talking. Just remind us what initially provoked these riots.
Well, back in about 10 days ago, the presidential elections, here in Armenia, were declared won by the outgoing president's chosen successor, Serge Sargsyan, the former prime minister. This provoked outrage among the opposition, who claimed the vote was rigged to stop their preferred candidate, Levon Terpetrosyan, Armenia's first president, from regaining office. However, having said that, international observers did judge the vote as mostly free and fair, but that wasn't enough to stop the protests, which were peaceful for many, many days. A peaceful protest, a sort of encampment on Freedom Square in the heart of Yerevan, and that suddenly turned nasty last night. Now, the reason for this sudden violence is still unknown. Terpetrosyan, the opposition candidate, alleges that it was agent provocateurs from the government which stirred up this, but of course the government strongly denies this and just says this was the last resort, if you like, of Terpetrosyan. But really, this sudden violence took everybody by surprise, and indeed the death of 8 people in a small country like Armenia, which is so unused to unrest of this kind, is going to send deep shockwaves which are going to reverberate for some time.
Okay, William, thank you very much for being with us this hour. That's William Dunbar there from the Armenian capital, Yerevan.